Every day, things keep getting worse for Elon Musk, and boy, does that bring a smile to my face. Like Tim Walz said the other day, every time I check that Tesla share price, which continues to point down, I get a bit of a boost. But it's not just that Tesla is collapsing. So is Elon Musk's popularity, not just with Democrats, where it's at least at zero at this point, not just with independents, but with Republicans as well. Because as we've talked about on this show, the programs that Elon is targeting the most are most used by red states, red towns, and Republican voters. And so they are turning against him. And we saw that when boos rained down on Elon Musk in a beautiful, angry MAGA town hall that we are going to get into. But before we do, if I could quickly ask you to leave a like on this video. And if you haven't already and you enjoy our channel, to hit that subscribe button. It goes a long way, and it really does mean a lot to me. Now, before we can get into Republicans calling for Elon's deportation, I want to hear why they were so upset with some context from Rachel Maddow.
For weeks now, town hall after town hall, one question, one topic comes up again and again and again at every single one of these Q&A sessions. And it's one of those issues that, again, you just can't be on the wrong side of in American politics. But Republicans are this year, thanks to Donald Trump and Elon Musk. Watch.
Our next question is from Polly from a 288 zip code area. What are you doing to ensure the protection of our Social Security benefits?
Yeah. Good question.
I really want to know from you, will you protect Social Security in its current form?
Next question, what are your plans to cut Social Security?
I want to be this is a very easy question for me to answer. Any changes to Social Security are not on the table, and I will not cut your Social Security. It is a promise between you and the federal government.
Social Security is a promise between you and the federal government. Congressman Mike Flood doing his best yesterday in Nebraska, and you could hear his constituents reacting. If his constituents are feeling a little insecure about Social Security, there's good reason for that. In addition to Social Security firing thousands of people who work at that agency and announcing plans to shut down dozens of Social Security field offices, the agency now plans to put new requirements in place that will send millions more people to local offices in person, if they can find one, instead of being able to solve things with the administration over the phone. An internal memo from top officials at Social Security says 75 to 85,000 more people each week, senior citizens and disabled people, will have to deal with their Social Security benefits in person because of the changes Trump is making. 75 to 85,000 more customers in person per week while the agency is shutting down offices and firing their staff. These new rules are no longer just proposals. They are apparently set to take effect March 31st, a week and a half from now.
Look at the empty seats here. Where's Elon Musk? If he's so great, if these plans and all the fraud and abuse that he found are so evident, why isn't he here explaining it? You know why. Because he's out to privatize Social Security. He's been on television the last couple of days talking exactly about Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid, and what he intends to do. Privatize it. The American people, some of them may have been born at night, but not last night.
Like I said, these are the programs most used by Republicans. And it's not just Social Security. Obviously, Social Security is maybe one of the greatest things that America has ever done in its government, single-handedly keeping seniors alive because of a program that they paid into for their entire lives. I am tired of anyone calling Social Security an entitlement. You paid into it. You earned it. You worked for it. This is how the system should work. It is not Elon Musk's privilege to go and blow it up so he can make himself a couple extra bill on the side. No, this is something that you earned, and that's why people are so pissed, rightfully so. And listen to this town hall full of Wyoming Republicans, not a ton of Democrats in Wyoming, just letting the boos rain down on Elon and adding a little extra spice in there as well.
Social Security. The work that I have specifically been doing, I am on the Judiciary Committee and the Natural Resources Committee.
I worked for the U.S. Department of Agriculture, helping Wyoming family farmers deal with drought until I was fired a month ago in the mass firings, and despite only having the highest marks in my performance review. In a state where so many farmers rely on government programs for drought and disaster relief, Trump's plans to cut these programs and the people who administer them, coupled with the tariffs, will decimate Wyoming farms and rural communities. What are you doing about that?
I disagree. What kind of programs are out there. It's so bizarre to me how obsessed you are with federal government. But here's the thing. You're going to have a heart attack if you don't calm down. I'm sorry. Your hysteria is just really over the top.
I love it. I love that the boos are raining down. I love the deport Elon chants. I'm fully on board with the deporting Elon. I talked to Jasmine Crockett the other day, and I think y'all saw that photo of the lovely conversation that we had. And I asked her, I said, Congresswoman, you said that Elon should, F off. Does that mean that you think he should maybe skedaddle out of the country? Maybe we should aid in that process? And she said, absolutely, we should get rid of Elon Musk. And I think Republicans can agree with that as well. It's a bipartisan issue. We talked to Congressman Greg Kazar yesterday, and he said the same thing. I think we can all get behind getting rid of Elon Musk. And I think we can all get behind, at this point, wanting to get rid of Donald Trump. Because like we've seen in these town halls, people are furious. It's not just about the domestic policy, but the foreign as well. And we saw that when Donald Trump was senselessly booed for his attacks on Zelensky and his Putin praise. And I want to play that clip and then a great breakdown of how Donald Trump is trying to really just normalize relations with Russia, a very scary action taking place within the White House, from Rachel Maddow right here.
Question is here.
Hi, I do want to thank you for actually doing a town hall, so thank you for that. The rest of it's probably not going to be so pleasant. So first of all, I do want to say shame. I want to say shame for your comment, your quote that you said, President Zelensky's approach today was disrespectful to President Trump and undermines the goal of bringing peace and that. So shame on that. But, second of all, I am the daughter, the niece, the sister of veterans, Korea veteran, Iraqi war. I have received the American Legion Auxiliary newsletter for quite a long time. For decades, they have stated that we are underfunded and understaffed, repeatedly stated that. You have said otherwise with Doge. Who's lying, them or you?
We owe our veterans the best possible care we can afford. I'm going to say it again. It's a promise we made. It's a promise we'll keep. And it is important not just to Republicans. It's important to Democrats. It's important to independents. Supporting our military and supporting our veterans is something that should unite us as Americans. And I will work as your member of Congress to address that. I do believe that that White House meeting was a disaster. And I believe that President Zelensky should have signed that agreement. The other thing I believe is that you read from a press report, and in that same press report, I said 4 things. I said, number 1, Ukraine should give up no land to Russia. They should return the 20,000 kidnapped kids. We should support NATO, and we should have better relations with Ukraine. That has been my position on Ukraine from the start. Next question.
All right. We have another question from over here.
Is very clear. And the American people are very aware of how different Trump's view is to their own. All right. And this is, it's a statistical oddity. I'm not sure there's ever been anything like this before in presidential politics. But this is part of what the Trump presidency means. And it accounts for some of the weirdest stuff in it. I mean, today, in the midst of all the other chaos that he is wreaking in our own government, right? They're today amid the news that they really are apparently going to go ahead with this change at Social Security. They're going to force 80,000 retired and disabled Americans every week to physically go in person to Social Security offices that they are also shutting down and firing people from by the thousands, as they announced today that they really are going to do that. They're today amid the disaster scene at FDA headquarters, where they told 10,000 people to show up at an office that has 6,000 parking places with no chairs or offices for most of them. And that's how they're going to run the FDA now. They're today amid the news that they've just, fired hundreds of dam operators and engineers who operate the hydroelectric dams in 17 Western states. Accidentally fired all the people who keep the lights on and keep the dams safe there. I mean, there today, amid that sort of daily litany of that kind of wreckage, there's Donald Trump, twirling his hair and spending 2 hours on the phone with his bestie, Vladimir Putin. 2 hours on the phone, more than 2 hours on the phone, talking to his friend, Vladimir Putin, who has, again, a 3% approval rating with the American people, because the American people know who he is.
Yeah, it looks like both Republicans and Democrats don't like it when you sell us out to a murderous dictator in Vladimir Putin. And I played a little clip from Maddow the other day talking about the American approval rating of Vladimir Putin. It was about 2%, right? And she had a couple other polls, and one of them was, who do you think Donald Trump supports more, Russia or Ukraine? And I believe it was about 40% said Russia, 40% said they didn't know, and it was the remaining percent said Ukraine. I think it was even smaller. I think there were some people who didn't answer, and it's like 5% said Ukraine. We know where Donald Trump stands, and the average American is not happy about it. There are so many ways that we can fight back against Donald Trump, that we can shift public opinion against him as we approach the midterms. And it's not just the midterms, by the way. We do have elections coming up in other places, in New Jersey, in Virginia. We have special elections in Florida, in New York, all throughout the country, in Texas. We can still fight back right now. And we are going to on the show every single day. And if you want to support that, as always, you can hit that subscribe button. You can leave a like on this video. And if you stuck around to the end, you can drop a blue heart in the comments. And until next time, I'll see you soon.